like Jason says there, we just didn't do enough to win the game today, did we?
Yeah, look, we let the game go away from us. Newcastle were a good team, dominated the ball. It's a shame that the way that we give away the goal comes from maybe a little bit of poor defending, and it's a great finish. Fair play to Willock's, fantastic finish, top corner. Well, kind of top corner, but the pace on it is very tough.
Mendy's got no chance.
Yeah, it's tough to save. And then maybe we kind of reacted a little bit too late. It was almost as if we were waiting for the goal to happen to then go on the attack.
That always happens, though. Teams, and it's not just Chelsea, but Premier League teams always wait until they go behind before they start playing. Yeah, which is kind of what it felt like today a little bit. I'm sure everyone's kind of waiting now to have the World Cup happen, get it all together for a month or so, have some time together and kind of figure out what's happening. And I think this side come January will be a very different side to what it is at the moment. Yeah, and Graham Potter, Leone, has now a good month and a bit to sort of work on with the players that he has. And actually, you know, we've got 10 players going to the World Cup, but there's also a lot of first-team players that are staying behind. And he didn't have a pre-season. This is almost like his pre-season, and he's going to have a lot more time to work with the players he's got.
Exactly, and of course, this is disappointing. We all know that. I thought we might win today. It was just one of those games. We didn't take our chances again. The goal, it was unfortunate defending, and then obviously a great finish. So I think now Potter's got time with the players that are remaining, and I think, you know, he's a fantastic manager, isn't he? He's a fantastic coach. So I've no doubts that he will work really well with those players. And like you say, we'll get players back after the World Cup. We don't know what's going to happen in January with the transfer window. It's all, he's been thrown into something at the moment, and he's done his best. And it's a funny season all round, isn't it? It's not just Chelsea. We've seen it across the board as well. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I just think today was unfortunate. Let's reset after the World Cup and we go again.
Yeah, and the thing is with Graham Potter as well, Zach, is that we looked at his Brighton side, and he had 2 years before anyone even started speaking. He had 2 years with these players to work on it, and every Chelsea fan wants stability, and you have to be patient. You 100%. have to be. There's no other option.
100%. And then you also add the fact that you're missing such big players and injuries. You can kind of make a conclusion to where Chelsea are at the moment. They're in a tough point where they don't have a lot of players at the moment due to injuries, due to the World Cup coming so soon as well. And as you mentioned, I think for a long time, Chelsea fans have wanted stability, have wanted consistency, they look at Man City, they look at Liverpool and go, when can we be the team that fights for leagues 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row? And that takes time. It takes time to get to that point. And if you look at Liverpool at the beginning, or City at the beginning...
That's what I was just about to say.
There are 2 years of where you go, OK, what's working for us? Who are the players we want to commit to and have a long-term future? Brozier get the 6-year contract, Reece James get the 6-year contract. It takes time. I think because Chelsea have obviously had so much success in such short periods and unlike a lot of other teams where you win one season, the next season's a bit down, win again, win up, down, whereas Chelsea want to be on a progression upwards, which again takes time, and I think a lot of Chelsea fans need to realise that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, isn't it, Leone, is that we've been so used to success and in such a small or quick succession that it just... We need to give Graham Potter time, and we have to understand that if you want to change a whole philosophy of a club and the way the team plays, it might even take years.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I hate to bring it up, but you look at Arsenal at the moment, and I know Arteta hasn't won anything with them, but the way they've started this season, it's, you know, he's worked well with them, and we know that he's had that time, he's had the commitment from the board, and they're now playing good football. And, you know, we've spoken about Pep, we've spoken about Klopp, and it is a patience thing. And I think we all need to get on board with that. And we do have a fantastic coach who, in the long term, I think can achieve some real success at this club.
Yeah, and obviously for the next 6 weeks, players are at the World Cup. That's going to be good for them joining up with their countries, but also for the players, like we said, that are here, going off to a warm weather training camp. Yeah. Just, you know, 6 weeks of a bit of a break for some players might just do them good.
To be honest, it's less of a break and more of like the end of the season. Like there's nothing happened in football like this before, where, or at least of recent times, where the season stops for a month and then it will start again later on. It's very much like you can I reckon there'll be a lot of teams and a lot of different things where the second half of the season is going to be very different to how the first half of the season is going to have been, and hopefully for Chelsea it'll be a more positive one.
Yeah, and our next game is obviously Bournemouth on the 27th of December. Leone, looking way far ahead to that game. But just in terms of the differences that we might see in that starting lineup, which players are you hoping to see back and starting for Chelsea on that game that haven't featured recently?
I mean, obviously, injury-wise, you'd love to see Reece James back, and I don't know how close he was to actually making the World Cup, but obviously he was very optimistic, and I think we miss him a lot. He's a fantastic player, as we know, defensively, offensively. So I'd love to see him back. I just think I'd love to see Lewis Hall. I think Lewis Hall's done a really good job today. It'd be great to see him back. I'd quite like to give the younger players a chance still. I think there's no reason to not play Lewis Hall now. So I just think it's going to be a good time for us to sort of reset and also just have a look at... I know Potter has had to sort of go with different formations. He's had to rotate the team. So now let's have a look back at what we've done and who plays best where, or if we started with a back three, should we have started with a back four in this game? And just have this time of reflection as well, not just looking at individual players, but just looking as a whole. What's worked best so far?
Yeah, definitely. And like Leonie mentioned there, Zach, if we are going to take one positive from today, again, it's Lewis Hall. A brilliant performance at left wing back once again.
Yeah, no, for sure. And as he mentioned in his press conference earlier today from the game against Man City, he wants to play in the middle of the park, and hopefully come January we'll have a lot of players back in Fofana, Reece James, Chilwell. So we have another midfield option there in Lewis Hall, and if he can play as well as he can on the left flank in centre midfield, then it'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. He is, of course, one of our academy products, and I'm sure he will be on coming up for the games during the World Cup. This is what is coming up on the Fifth Stand app. Then this week we have got the under-18s Premier League game at 10:55 a.m. on Saturday, and we will be showing plenty of academy games on the Fifth Stand app, so make sure you keep across that to go and support our academy boys. I hate to do this to you. One word sum up.
Jesus. Tough. Yeah, look, I think it's been a tough couple of days.
Yeah. And Leonie?
Reset.
I like it. Leonie, Zach, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure despite the result. It wasn't to be. Chelsea lost to Newcastle 1-0 on the day, but we go again after the World Cup, and we will see you for Matchday Live on the December for Bournemouth at home. See you next time. Bye-bye.